Am I the a-hole for taking my mom's things before my dad could give them to my half-sisters? My mom passed away when I, 17F, was only 5 years old. Losing her at such a young age was something I never fully understood until I got older, but I do remember her being very thoughtful about what would happen after she was gone. Before she died, she sold a lot of her things that didn't hold much sentimental value, but she made sure to leave behind certain keepsakes. She even wrote letters, one to my dad and one to me, outlining her wishes for her belongings. In the letter addressed to me, which I only received when I turned 13, she explained that she wanted me to inherit her jewelry, her childhood keepsakes, and the sentimental things she had collected over her life. These included a small stuffed animal collection, some really old books that had been passed down in her family, and scrapbooks she had lovingly made. She wanted those things to stay with me. Even before I officially knew what she had intended for me, I had asked my dad for some of her belongings. Each time, he told me I was too young and that I would get them when I was older and more responsible. I understood at first, but as the years went by, it started to feel unfair. Even when he finally gave me her letter at 13, meaning he trusted me to read her last words, he still insisted I wasn't responsible enough to have her belongings. When I was 7, my dad remarried, and by the time I was 9, I had 2 half-sisters from his new marriage. Growing up, he would often talk about how much my mom would have loved them and how he hoped I'd share some of my mom's things with them one day. He framed it as this beautiful way of connecting us as siblings. I told him flat out that I wouldn't do that because they weren't my mom's children. He'd always brush it off, saying it would be sweet and that it would make him happy. Fast forward to now, his marriage has been rocky for years, and currently my dad and his wife are separated but still living under the same roof. It's tense, to say the least. A few weeks ago, completely out of the blue, my dad announced that he was going to give each of my half-sisters a piece of my mom's jewelry. He even said there were specific pieces he thought would be perfect for them. Meanwhile, I still wasn't allowed to have anything. When I pushed back, he argued that my mom had only written her wishes in letters, not in a legal will, so technically, they didn't mean anything. I told him she hadn't made it official because she trusted him to honor her wishes, and clearly, that trust was misplaced. We argued for a long time, and he tried to guilt-trip me. He said my mom would have loved my half-sisters because they were his daughters, and she would have wanted him to be happy. I told him point-blank that wasn't true. I was her only child, and I came before anyone else's kids. I also told him it was creepy, weird, and disrespectful that he wanted to give parts of my mom's life to children who weren't hers, never met her, and weren't connected to her in any way. After that fight, I realized I couldn't wait around. The more he talked about giving away her things, the more terrified I became that I'd never see them again. So when nobody was home, I searched until I finally found where he had hidden everything. It wasn't easy. He had really tucked it away, but I got to it just in time. I hid everything in my room overnight, and the next morning, I took it all to my maternal grandparents and asked them to keep it safe. When I explained the situation, they were furious with my dad and promised to protect my mom's belongings for me. It wasn't until about 3 weeks later that my dad went to retrieve my mom's things, only to realize they were gone. He confronted me, and that turned into one of the biggest fights we've ever had. He accused me of being a thief, of punishing my half-sisters by stealing something that could have made them happy. He claimed they were so excited about the jewelry, and I snapped back that they only wanted pretty things. If he wanted to give them jewelry, he could buy it himself, but my mom's jewelry was not his to give away. The fight went on for nearly 2 hours. He kept demanding that I bring everything back, calling me selfish, a thief, and even saying I was cruel to my half-sisters. I stood my ground and told him no every single time. I reminded him that my mom left her things to me and me alone. If she had wanted to share the love with anyone else, she would have said so. Now, he brings it up at least twice a week, pressuring me to return the things and making me feel guilty for hurting my sisters. But I refuse. Those are my mom's belongings, her last pieces of herself that she left behind for me. I won't let him take them away and give them to kids who have no connection to her, just because he wants to rewrite the past. So, am I the a-hole for taking my mom's things to keep them safe from my dad and refusing to share them with my half-sisters?